Jovenel Moïse died in an attack on his private residence on the outskirts of the capital, Port-au-Prince. His wife was also shot. The interim prime minister said that a group of attackers was involved and that he was in control of the country. President Jovenel Moïse of Haiti was assassinated in an attack in the early hours of Wednesday at his home on the outskirts of the capital, Port-au-Prince, the interim prime minister said, creating a political void that threatens to deepen the turmoil that had gripped the country for months. As foreign governments struggled to assess the situation, millions of Haitians anxiously huddled around radios and televisions, staying off the streets as they tried to understand what the coming days might bring. Mr. Moïse's wife, Martine Moïse, was also shot in the attack, the interim prime minister, Claude Joseph, said in a statement. Her condition was not immediately clear. A group of unidentified individuals, some of them speaking Spanish, attacked the private residence of the President of the Republic and thus fatally wounded the head of state, the Prime Minister said, but there was little solid information about who might have carried out the assassination. In an interview with the New York Times, Mr. Joseph said that he was the one running the country at the moment. Still, it was unclear how much control he had, or how long it might last. A new prime minister had been scheduled to replace Mr. Joseph this week, and the head of the nation's highest court, who might also have helped establish order, died of COVID-19 in June. The news of Mr. Moïse's assassination rocked the Caribbean nation 675 miles southeast of Miami. But it had already been in turmoil. In recent months, protesters had taken to the streets to demand Mr. Moïse's removal. He had clung to power, ruling by decree for more than a year, even as many, including constitutional scholars and legal experts, argued that his term had expired. Armed gangs control many streets and have taken to kidnapping even schoolchildren and church pastors in the middle of their services. Poverty and hunger are on the rise, and the government has been accused of enriching itself while not providing even the most basic services. Now, the political vacuum left by Mr. Moïse's killing could fuel a cycle of violence, experts warned. More than 2 centuries ago, Haitians fought to throw off the yoke of colonial France and bring an end to one of the world's most brutal slave colonies, which had brought France great wealth. What started as a slave uprising at the turn of the 18th century eventually led to the stunning defeat of Napoleon's forces in 1803. But the suffering of the Haitians did not end with the ouster of the French. More recently, the country suffered under more than 2 decades of dictatorship by François Duvalier, known as Papa Doc, and then his son, Jean-Claude, known as Baby Doc.